Hi, my name is Mark Randall, and we're a sponsor of the tour this year, Steve. And I was kind of thinking I was going to turn the tables on you and interview you this time.
All right.
We always hear you talking to us as insurance agents out there. And what I was wondering is, when you start your speeches, you oftentimes use the allegory to start your presentation. I was wondering if you could share it with us.
Well, I like to tell the story about the blind men and the elephant. And it's an old allegory from East India about several blind men approaching the elephant. One touches the leg and thinks it must be a tree, and another the tail, figures it's a rope. One touches the trunk and it must be a hose. And the point being that with any complex entity, you really don't know what you're dealing with until you know all of its facets and all of their interrelationships. And I got to thinking one day that, long-term care is that way. It's a very complicated field, and you have lots of different perspectives. There's the government that looks at the elephant of long-term care and sees it as a gigantic fiscal black hole. How in the world are we going to pay for all of these people getting older when they need long-term care? But on the other hand, you've got the public that looks at the elephant of long-term care and says, what, me worry? They're in denial. How can that be if it's such a huge risk? And then you've got the providers that are very heavily dependent on public financing, and yet the government's out of money and the public's asleep, and the providers are focused on just trying to get more money out of the government. And we have the financiers of long-term care, the people who provide the debt and equity capital to build, operate, and maintain long-term care facilities. They can make more money in other aspects of the economy. And you've got the long-term care insurance industry comes into the business thinking with stars in their eyes, given the demographics, it must be a slam dunk to get people to buy insurance, and yet they don't. Year after year after year, this goes on, and we're getting closer and closer to the aging and ultimately the senescence of the baby boom generation, and they are unprotected. So what I try to do, and I introduce it with the allegory of the elephant, the blind men, and long-term care, is to raise people's consciousness to the complexity of this issue and the importance of understanding it from the perspective of all of the different blind men of long-term care, to rise above our professional silos and look up over the top, understand the challenges that the other stakeholders face, and work together instead of at cross purposes.
I suppose that's kind of the difficult thing, is we're all just part of the puzzle.
That's for sure.